नमस्ते, मैं चारू हूँ और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं डेंटिस्ट इन मैनेजमेंट के बारे में। और मैं अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स और इंटर्नशिप के रिगार्डिंग कुछ डिस्कशन करूँगी। धन्यवाद।
on, and I would want Pallavi to start with the thing.
Hi everyone, good morning. So, like Dr. Vishal said, it's really great that all of you could, join us on a Sunday morning, and it just shows how committed you are. So, unfortunately, we couldn't publicize this as much as we had publicized the previous webinar, but I'm glad that there's a lot of discussion that's taking place on our WhatsApp group and even on LinkedIn. So, it's good to see that people are benefiting, and I know that there are many of you who don't want to speak on a public platform, so you prefer that you to have a one-on-one conversation with the mentors, and that's all right, that's fine as well. So the main point is that all of us should encourage each other to come out of our shells and help each other out. So today we have Dr. Charu and Dr. Avni, and like you all know, the theme for the webinar is hospital management and healthcare management and hospital administration. So this is a very common misconception that both these fields are the same or they're similar, and we're going to find out today if that's true, and also if in any way these two fields are interconnected. So here you can see the topics that Dr. Charu will be covering, and these are the topics that Dr. Avni will be covering. In case anybody has any questions, we'll be taking that up at the end of the session. So feel free to drop in the questions as the webinar goes on, because I know that at one point you might have a question, you might forget it when the next slide comes up. So it's better to just keep dropping them, and we'll pick up all of the questions. Okay, let's move on to the presentation. Right. So Dr. Charid, you can begin.
Hi all. This is Charu Sinha. I have done BBS and MBA from Calcutta University, and currently I am volunteering with Project Step One and as an independent healthcare consultant. And my past experiences were at iCure Texoff Private Limited, which is located at Kolkata. It's a for-profit organization, and Apollo Hospitals Bilaspur, which is in Chhattisgarh. Now at part time, I also was associated with a clinic. It is Chhattisgarh Dental Clinic at Bilaspur, where I coordinated for camp and all and work as a general dentist. Next slide, please. Hello. Oh yeah. Now, why one should go for hospital and healthcare management? It's currently 16 to 17% of growth in health career CAGR annually, and it will eventually create a good job market for qualified healthcare managers, upcoming managers also. The areas of employment you can see is good in healthcare and hospital management, and where we can go is quality assurance and accreditation for hospitals, health insurance, and managing different health programs in national and international level, and so forth. Also, now you can see that there is a the COVID situation has created a loophole in the healthcare management. We can see how our healthcare management needs to be developed. So in this also require this situation also require the managers to come up and contribute in the healthcare development of India. Now you can see here it's written in the slide. I'm just reading it. Profession of healthcare management is challenging, and at the same time it's rewarding. If you work harder, you will get good reward. Next slide. Now coming to the course curriculum, what is taught? I had both hospital and healthcare management as my specialization. First of all, we study general management paper in first and second semester, and which will introduce you to the basic and core management subjects. And second, we have specialization paper and practical exposure. So specialization paper, here you can see there are concept of health and diseases, which is related to healthcare management, planning and organizing of hospitals. Then it is related to hospital management. Development of hospitals and hospital support services, again for hospital management, healthcare and hospital logistics for hospital management. And community health and epidemiology is related to healthcare management and public health itself. Rest it's a combination of everything, you can see here. I had the project work internship in my area of specialization in rural area, and also in Jan Swasth Sahyog, ICure TechSoft and Apollo hospitals, where I had a combination of both rural and urban. Urban means public health sector and health, and this hospital also. Now, next slide, please. I would like to share the experiences and exposure. Like, why anyone should do internship? Anyone should do internship. Like we should. It gives you a proper show of the organization. एक organization किस तरह से function करता है, कैसे work करता है, उसका एक आपको झलक मिलता है इससे. और इंटर्नशिप से आपको पता चलता है कि वहाँ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर कैसे काम करता है, टॉप मैनेजमेंट लेवल कैसा है, मिडिल मैनेजमेंट लेवल कैसा है और लो मैनेजमेंट लेवल कैसा है. तो ये सारा चीज है. और यू मस्ट स्पेंड टाइम एंड एफर्ट इन इम्प्रूविंग स्किल सेट. आपको जो भी प्रोजेक्ट मिलता है, जो भी मिलता है, वो आपको उसमें अपना स्पेंड करना चाहिए और अपना कम्युनिकेशन स्किल भी अच्छा डेवलप करने के लिए ये करना चाहिए. सो यहाँ पे हमें 3 लोग दिख रहे हैं. एक पैसिव है, एक असर्टिव है, एक एग्रेसिव है. पैसिव जो है वो बोल रहे हैं हाँ मैं जा सकता हूँ, वो उतना इंटरेस्टेड नहीं लग रहा है. जो येलो वाला गाय है वो थोड़ा असर्टिव लग रहा है. उसको लग रहा है हाँ मैं चला जाऊंगा, इंटर्नशिप मिल रहा है तो चला जाऊंगा नॉर्मली. एग्रेसिव जो है उसको पैशन है, उसको ही इज वेरी पैशनेट टू गो देयर इन द इंटर्नशिप. लाइक उसको जिस तरह, उसको जो फील्ड में जाना है, उसको जो चीज करनी है, अपना इंटरेस्ट आपको डेवलप करना. अगर आप हॉस्पिटल एंड हेल्थ केयर मैनेजमेंट में जा रहे हो तो बहुत सारा सेक्टर होता है जिसमें आपका इंटरेस्ट है. आपको ये डिटरमाइन करना है कि आप किस फील्ड में पैशनेट हो. आईटी में पैशनेट हो, क्वालिटी में पैशनेट हो, या फिर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के ह्यूमन रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट में पैशनेट हो. जिसमें भी पैशनेट हो, आपको उस चीज में जाके अपना इंटरेस्ट डेवलप करना है. या ऑलरेडी इंटरेस्ट हो तो वो आपको एग्रेसिवनेस की तरफ और ज्यादा बढ़ाएगा. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. मैं अपना इंटर्नशिप एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहूंगी. एक जन स्वास्थ्य सहयोग में था मेरा इंटर्नशिप 2017 में. वो कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर है, गनियारी में लोकेटेड है, जहाँ टीम के साथ मैंने साइनेजेस और इलस्ट्रेटिव मैप डिजाइन किया था और डेवलप किया था, जो बेसिकली रूरल पीपल और एग्रीकल्चरल बैकग्राउंड के लोग थे. वहाँ के लिए मैंने टीम के साथ मिलके एक बहुत अच्छा मैप डेवलप किया था. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वहाँ पे रेडियोलॉजी जाने में थोड़ा इश्यू होता था, रेडियोलॉजी लोग खोजते रहते थे, तो वहाँ इलिटरेट लोगों को साइनेज थोड़ा समझाने में दिक्कत होती थी, तो उस हिसाब से उनका साइनेज डेवलप किया. उसके बाद अपोलो हॉस्पिटल्स में मैंने NABS 4th स्टैंडर्ड पे काम किया था, जो 2015 का स्टैंडर्ड है, सॉरी. उस पे काम किया था, जिसमें रूट कॉज एनालिसिस और फिश बोन डायग्राम के साथ में एक स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस दिया था कि ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन रिएक्शन क्यों होती है, जैसे CQI जो आपका चैप्टर है वो. और ICure TechSoft मेरा सबसे ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग और सबसे ज्यादा बहुत अच्छा मेरा एक्सपीरियंस रहा है इंटर्नशिप में, जिसमें मैं जाके अपना जॉब भी मुझे वहाँ जॉब भी मिला था, क्योंकि मुझे रूरल साइड भी इंटरेस्ट था. तो इसमें मेरा दोनों काम था, एक तो रूरल एरिया में काम करना और साथ में अपना बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट का भी काम करना. तो यहाँ पे मैं हर हफ्ते में 2 से 3 बार मेदिनीपुर जाती थी और वहाँ पे जाके डेंटल कैंप्स लगा के वहाँ लोगों का देखती थी कि किस तरह से लोग अवेयर हो रहे हैं अपने ओरल हाइजीन को लेके. तो मैंने हर बार इंप्लीमेंट में चीजों को डालना शुरू किया, जैसे कि पहले IEC कैंप्स, दूसरा ऑडियो विजुअल एड्स, तो साथ में फिर थर्ड कैंप में डेंटिफाइसेस इंट्रोड्यूस किया और साथ में फिर तीनों का एक साथ लेके तीनों को चला, फिर देखी कि लोग कैसा कर रहे, और साथ में मैंने स्कूल में भी कैंप लगाया था जहाँ पे बच्चे लोग को देखा कि बच्चे लोग जो है वो थोड़ा सा अपने ओरल हाइजीन को लेके अवेयर नहीं है, तो मैंने गेम भी इसमें डेवलप किया था। इसमें नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। हाँ, तो जहाँ आप ये देख सकते हैं कि डेंटल मार्केट जो है वो रूरल एरिया में कम पेनिट्रेट किया हुआ है, तो उसका एक स्टडी किया था कि मार्केट एक्सेप्टेंस रूरल एरिया में कैसा है क्या है, और उसके बाद बिजनेस मॉडल डेवलप करने के बाद इन्वेस्टमेंट एनालिसिस और फीजिबिलिटी चेक किया। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। ये मेथोडोलॉजी में जैसे मैंने यहाँ कुछ इमेजेस भी लगाया हुआ है, वेलनेस कैंप्स, डेंटल कैंप्स एट पब्लिक हेल्थ सेंटर लेवल, वहाँ उन लोगों का एक हेल्थ पब्लिक हेल्थ सेंटर होता था, कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर होता था, जो हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल कहते हैं उसको, वैसा है। तो हर 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 महीना या हर हर टाइम पे ऐसे जाके वहाँ पे कैंप ऐसा लगा के, और बहुत सारा टूल्स, ग्राफिक्स और बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी यूज की जो जहाँ मार्केटिंग टीम ने मेरी हेल्प की थी वहाँ। मार्केटिंग टीम ने तो खैर मेरा कैंप लगाने में काफी हेल्प किया था, वहाँ पे जाके वो लोग बता देते थे कि इस पर्टिकुलर डेट पे डॉक्टर इज कमिंग एंड ऑल, तो वहाँ पे जाके सब जो पेशेंट्स थे वो भी इकट्ठा हो जाते थे। और ऐसे कुछ एप्लीकेशन एप्स भी डेवलप किया था वहाँ की आईटी टीम ने, ताकि डेटा एंट्री एंड ऑल का काम भी हो सके। और प्लान डू चेक कैंप, जैसे मैंने बताया आईईसी कैंप में हर बार मैंने कुछ कुछ इंट्रोड्यूस किया था, तो वो हो गया आपका पीडीसीए। नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट। तो ये जो है ये मैंने गेम डेवलप किया था, डेंटल गेम। इसमें ये 5 स्टेजेस हैं। बेसिकली ये पेरेंट्स को देंगे अपने बच्चों के लिए। पहला है ब्रशिंग टेक्निक, ब्रशिंग टेक्निक जिसमें ब्रशिंग टेक्निक जिसमें एक्सप्लेन करना है अच्छे से बच्चों को। सेकंड में है टंग क्लीन करना। थर्ड, ये गेम बच्चों को तब मिलेगा जब कोई बच्चा डेंटिस्ट के पास विजिट करेगा। थर्ड है ये फ्लॉसिंग है। फोर्थ जो हो गया वो प्रॉपर न्यूट्रिशन फॉर किड्स, एंड इसको एल्डर्स भी यूज कर सकते हैं। और फिफ्थ है जो अगर आप सारा चीज करके आप जब सब कुछ अचीव कर लेते हैं तो दैट इज विन विन सिचुएशन फॉर यू। नेक्स्ट जो है इसको आप एक कैलेंडर के साथ यूज करेंगे। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। ये जो कैलेंडर है इसमें हर 3 मंथ्स में डेंटिस्ट के पास विजिट करना है पेरेंट्स और बच्चों को। अगर डेंटिस्ट बोलेगा कि अगर बहुत अच्छा आपका ओरल हाइजीन है, सब कुछ चेक करके ओके कर देगा, तो पेरेंट्स जो है वो उस पे वो कुछ अच्छा गिफ्ट या फ्री बाइज देंगे बच्चों को। तो इस तरह से हर 3 मंथ्स में डेंटिस्ट के पास बच्चों को विजिट करना होगा। मैंने मार्क किया हुआ है कैलेंडर में इस तरह से। नेक्स्ट। नाउ प्रॉज एंड कॉन्स ऑफ इंटर्नशिप क्या हो सकता है? तो प्रॉज ये हो सकता है कि हमारा वैल्यूएबल एक्सपीरियंस हमें मिलता है, एक नेटवर्क बिल्ड करने का काम करता है, जहाँ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जितने भी लोग हैं उनसे अच्छा नेटवर्क बिल्ड कर सकते हैं। फिर अगर रेज्यूम है, आपका रेज्यूम प्रिपेयर्ड है, तो रेज्यूम में आपका एक्स्ट्रा लाइन या एक्सपीरियंस ऐड कर देगा, और एक आइडिया हो जाएगा कि प्रॉपर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फंक्शन कैसे करता है। अब कॉन्स ये है कि हर इंटर्नशिप बेनिफिशियल नहीं हो सकते जो डोमेन चेक करके जाएं। जहाँ आपका इंटरेस्ट है, जहाँ आपकी अच्छी पकड़ है, आपको फाइनल ईयर में आने के बाद लगता है कि हाँ मुझे यहाँ जाना चाहिए, तो आप उस जगह ही इंटर्नशिप में जाओ। इररिलेवेंट इंटर्नशिप करके टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करना। डज नॉट हेल्प यू फाइनेंशियली इफ अनपेड। अगर अनपेड इंटर्नशिप है, जैसे कि जानते हैं हम लोग ऑलरेडी लोन लिए होते हैं एमबीए टाइम में, तो लोन जो है वो ऑलरेडी बर्डन होता है बच्चा फाइनेंशियली। तो अगर अनपेड में जा रहे हो तो ये आपको ज्यादा बेनिफिशियल नहीं है। कोशिश करना पेड इंटर्नशिप में जाने का। देन अवॉइड पैसिव इंटर्नशिप। कुछ इंटर्नशिप ऐसे होते हैं जो बैठा के बस खाली बैठाए रहते, कुछ काम नहीं देते, तो इस टाइप का इंटर्नशिप में भी जाना अवॉइड करना है। तो इस टाइप के इंटर्नशिप को पैसिव इंटर्नशिप बोलते हैं, कि आप खाली बैठ के खाली सोशल मीडिया ब्राउज कर रहे हो, तो दैट इज रॉन्ग। देन अब मैं सम अप करूंगी। हमने देखा है कि वी हैव सीन दैट trend and demand in increasing in healthcare and hospital sector. Figure says it is growing at the rate of 23% internationally in last 10 years and 16 to 17% in India. That's why the demand of healthcare management is increasing. During the COVID time, we have seen how crucial is to manage a pandemic situation and identify major loopholes in the healthcare sector and need health manager leaders who can well understand the interrelationship between health population and field of economics together. Now we have to be aggressive by learning new things and new concepts. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Charu. So I think, Dr. Avni, we can start with your part of the presentation now. Dr. Avni, you would have to unmute yourself. I think you're muted.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Okay,
Am I
then we
audible
can-
now?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining on a Sunday morning. And thank you, Dr. Charu, for giving that very specific and great background to the people who are here to understand about the management roles after dentistry. So again, thank you, Dr. Charu. About myself, a bit before I start, I am Dr. Avni Trivedi. I belong from Bhopal and I pursued my dentistry from Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. After that, I moved to Goa Institute of Management for a management course in healthcare management. And currently, I'm working with Novo Nordisk India Private Limited, which is a leader of insulin manufacturing across the world. And we deal with insulin and diabetes care. Apart from that, before joining Novo Nordisk India, I have interned at few places. Just like Dr. Charu shared her internship experiences, I would just name. So I have interned with Sneha Mandir NGO Goa. It was a geriatric care center, an NGO for the old people. And over there, they have an in-house pharmacy where I did a project on the waste management of pharmacy. Apart from that, I have also conducted a primary research with few doctors where I interviewed them and tried to understand how pharmaceutical marketing works for them. So these things probably would be of detail to you once you understand management, first of all. So Dr. Pallavi, next slide, please. Okay, to start with, first of all, because I know many people, many students have been asking about how healthcare management as a course is different from hospital administration. So specifically, since I have done healthcare management, I can tell you more about that. But yes, I can outline a few differences for you. And here are a few of them. So see, when we talk about healthcare management per se, it involves the entire domain of healthcare. So whatever subsectors that you have in healthcare, whether it's about insurance, it's hospitals, medical devices, pharmaceuticals, even labs and diagnostics, and of course, healthcare IT, which is now booming a lot. So healthcare management is an overall perspective of the entire healthcare industry. While when we talk about hospital administration, it is very much more specific to hospitals. It provides you a specialization. You can look of it at this way. For people who are doing dentistry, they will understand, and it's very easy. I'll make it easier for you, break it down for you. So BDS is a package of all the subjects put together, while MDS is where your interest lies. So for courses like hospital administration or rural management, these are the courses that make you specialize specifically in those arenas, whereas healthcare management is quite inclined to the entire industry perspective. Now, healthcare management, see, because it's very much open to all the subsectors, so it has opportunities for you in various sectors. You can land into roles in a diverse set of companies, which can be from insurance and device, again, the same subsectors. So you can find jobs in all of these sectors, but in hospital administration, mostly you would find jobs in hospitals. Then both of the courses have management lessons included. The only difference, the core courses are about like the entire management roles, which is like HR, finance, operations. But again, the same thing, healthcare would tell you about all the subjects which are related to, say, public health, which are related to insurance, finance, accounts, everything. But in hospital administration, the other courses, like the courses which are additional to you, is more about hospital operations. The same thing continues, like I told, about job roles. So because we have many sectors in healthcare management, you will find job roles in various companies, like I already mentioned, and in hospitals, you will find for the hospital administration courses. Dr. Pallavi, next slide, please. Okay. So the subjects that are taught in healthcare management per se, I would like to talk more about healthcare management. And see, like I already mentioned, the core courses will remain more or less the same everywhere, which is, about organizational behavior or marketing. Then there is consumer behavior, there is finance, there is accounts. And the elective courses are something of your choice, which you would want to this is more of function specific. So when I say functions, it's about whether one thing is whether you want to go into pharma, medical device, or labs and diagnostics, or insurance. So these are the sectors. But in these sectors, you have to figure out whether you want to go into marketing, whether you want to go into branding, whether you want to go into financing and paying. So things like that. So when I talk of elective courses, you would more understand about the specific job function that you're looking at, whether it's in healthcare IT. If I say, for example, then you would go for machine learning, like you can see in the term 5 in the elective courses. There is machine learning, there is supply chain, there is consumer behavior, there is branding. So these are the courses that you would want to choose from your own understanding that, I'm interested in this or I'm interested in that. The core courses are by and large the same for every institute. And okay, I should be sharing this, that this is particularly from my institute, which is Goa Institute of Management. So but if you look at the curriculum from other colleges as well, more or less the subjects are going to be the same. Apart from that, whether hospital administration or healthcare management, in both cases, you will have industry visit courses. So for example, in Goa Institute of Management, we call it as Give Goa Healthcare, or KYHP, which is Know Your Healthcare Provider. So those kinds of programs, like they might have different names in different colleges, but then they are basically industry visits every week, where you will kind of visit hospitals or public health hospital centers and all of those things, where you will understand how these organizations work. So industry exposure is always there. And to add on to that, you will always have internship curriculum, like Dr. Charu has already explained to you, so I will not go into those details. Next slide, please. Yeah, so apart from hospital administration and healthcare management, these are few courses which you can again specialize into, like pharmaceutical management for someone who was interested in pharma as a subject. And to be fair and honest, actually pharmaceutical management is more inclined for people who are bachelors in pharmacy, BPharm. But yeah, dentists also do that. I have few colleagues in my own company who are dentists and have pursued this course. So again, the curriculum is more or less the same, but yeah, you can pursue this as well. Then for people who are quite inclined in public health, like those who want to really serve the community, there is another course called as Masters in Public Health. You will find this even in Tata Institute, which is Mumbai. And then there is another course called Masters in Rural Management. This is not very specific to healthcare, but it is coming up as a course because rural management involves a lot about environmental sciences. It's a lot about community, the community around you, which affects the healthcare scenario, in especially in rural areas. So when we we always take a patient history and we write about them, that what is the socioeconomic status of the patient, which is where rural management is a very large opportunity for dentists as well. Next slide, please. Yeah, so these are the areas where you will find opportunities after healthcare management specifically. You can get jobs in hospitals and insurance companies, med device companies, pharmaceutical, healthcare, IT. And again, to be fair and honest, NGOs are a rare situation where if you're really inclined, you might find one. And the placement scenario for NGOs is a little difficult, but it's not that you won't get it at all. But my recommendation is that if someone is really inclined towards working with NGOs or public health organizations, then it's better to go for a rural management course or a public health master's course. Yeah, so another thing is that, yeah, so consulting is also one of the very, upcoming trend in healthcare as well. So consulting mostly lies in IT or in market research. So my function is market research, where my job is also to provide solutions based on a problem statement. Just to give an example, like Dr. Charu said that she has worked on a gaming model. So she definitely defined a problem statement about the dental health in rural areas. So we pick up a problem and we try to do a research. We see what is the reason for the problem, which is what she exactly said about the fishbone analysis and all of those things, which is quite technical. So you try to understand that what is the problem, where is it coming from, why is it happening, and then you want to deliver solutions. So that's how consulting firms work by and large. And it's not just about rural areas. Consulting could lie in many other things, just like another example would be, say, if your company is launching a new product and you want to know who should be your segment, or who should you cater to. So over there also market research works a lot, and consulting is also one of the upcoming trends apart from healthcare IT. So that's it from my side, I guess. If there is any question, I would like to take it ahead. I have no issues at all.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Avni. So we do have a couple of questions coming in. The first one is, please tell some details about healthcare management jobs in Dubai. How much is the scope in Gulf countries? So I think this question is addressed to Vipin sir. I think because this is the discussion that we were having over the WhatsApp group, right? If I'm not wrong. Javeri, if possible, could you kindly unmute yourself or just type in the chat box, like, this is the question that we were talking about earlier, yeah, right? Okay, no problem, sir, no problem. So we can move on to the next question. Which is the best college in India to do hospital management? What should we study for the entrance exams? So I think Dr. Char and Dr. Avni, you both can, probably tell us about your experience, about how you prepared for the exams, and how, how did the search for college begin and how did it end?
Yeah, I prepared it in 2015-16. I had coaching in time. It was in Bilaspur, time Bilaspur. So you can choose your coaching institute wisely, so that अच्छे से prepare करवाते हैं वो लोग. Time is good. Career launcher is also good. और भी बहुत सारे कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं आपके आसपास. अगर आप अच्छे हैं तो आप वहाँ ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. और फिर कैट है, कैट मैथ, सी मैथ, ये दे सकते हैं. फार्मास्यूटिकल मैनेजमेंट के लिए नार्सी मोंजी है, NMI NS, जो नवंबर या दिसंबर में होता है. तो मैंने कैट अटेम्प्ट किया था, मैथ अटेम्प्ट किया था, सी मैथ भी अटेम्प्ट किया था. तो सी मैथ के थ्रू मैं गई थी. तो मुझे कैलकाटा यूनिवर्सिटी के मैंने अपना MBA कंप्लीट किया है. और वो मेरे कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में ही उन्होंने मुझे बताया था कि ऐसा है, और वो घर के भी पास था. तो दैट्स व्हाई आई चोज टू गो टू दैट कॉलेज. और बाकी तो इंटर्नशिप वगैरह और प्लेसमेंट्स वगैरह मैंने खुद ही अपनी इंटर्नशिप चूज की, तो प्लेसमेंट में मैं इन्वॉल्व नहीं हूँ.
Okay, to
Dr.
share my
Ravi.
experience. Yeah, thank you. To share my experience, see, by and large, the exams जो Dr. Charu ने बोला is exactly what I did. So I gave CAT, I gave CMAT, I gave MAT. Some of you might choose to give ZAT. It is an entrance exam from XLRI. You will not get a course in XLRI, but the score of ZAT is widely accepted in many colleges. So that is somewhere you can try as well. If you're looking at joining TIS, which is Tata Institute Mumbai, then you will have to give a separate exam called TISNET. We have another exam for Symbiosis, which is called SNAP. So there are many colleges which will have their own specific examinations, but then most of them do accept CAT and CMAT, which is more than enough to do. CAT, CMAT, MAT, my recommendation would be to just focus on 3 examinations so that you don't have to, juggle a lot around here and there, because as it is for us, for dentists, it's quite a change, from science to moving into quant and verbal ability and all of those things, I understand. So there needs to be a focus. And that's why my suggestion or recommendation is that you don't go for a lot of examinations, just go for very specific ones which are widely accepted. About colleges, pharmaceutical management, yes, Narsimmunji, personally, even I feel it's the best. For healthcare management, there are quite a few colleges. There is Goa Institute of Management, there is Symbiosis, there is even some of IIMs do give that course now. When I joined, it was not there. So you might want to check IIM Kolkata. And I think Manipal also has it. So these are few good colleges. You have SDA Bukoni. Then like these are the few colleges which will give you good placements. Hospital administration, undoubtedly, IIHMR being the oldest and the best, it is one college you should definitely check out for hospital administration. Rural management, like I said, is not very specific to healthcare, but it is booming. So for those colleges, you can check the best of the general management institutes. So for example, SP Gen, it is very good for general management. It is one of the top institutes. So colleges like those will help you in rural management. Even Symbiosis mostly has all of these courses. For someone who's looking at Symbiosis, especially residents of Delhi and Pune, I understand, because there are a lot of Symbis over here. So you can check Symbiosis for sure, but it does have a different examination called SNAP. Apart from that, I think when you talk of college selection, I think if you just do a little Google search and you go through some 4 or 5 top links when you search on Google, that is more than enough to give you a fair idea. And most of the colleges on their websites, they publish the contacts of the alums. So you can also speak with the alums. You can choose a mentor on LinkedIn maybe. I already gave you the names of a few colleges which are good for specific courses. But then if you have, I do understand some people have limitations with, say, location. They don't want to relocate and go to a college or things like that. In that case, you might want to speak to people specifically that which college is best for you. So that's from my side.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Avni. So there is another question. Should we have to clear CAT, MAT for healthcare management also? So are these exams, I mean, is it possible to take another exam apart from these, which would help, somebody pursue a course in healthcare management?
Some institutes are having their own internal examination also, but CAT MAT, I think 80% it's must to crack so that anyone can go for healthcare management and hospital management. Dr. Ravni?
Yeah, I think the same thing which I already said, that most of the colleges do accept CAT and CMAT. So even if you want to go away from CAT and CMAT and try some another examinations, then you have MAT, you have TISNET, you have SNAP, and you have XAT, XAT, XAT. So these are just to name a few. Other colleges might have again their own examinations.
Yeah.
I'm not very much aware of other examinations, but these 4 are like the topmost colleges you can try for and their examinations.
Okay, all right, thank you. So the next question is for Dr. Avni. Dr. Avni, I'm interested in learning more about market research. Can you name a few tools I can learn online?
So market research, first of all, I would like to tell you, since you've asked a very specific question, you have to figure out whether you want to do a qualitative market research or a quantitative. By and large, we split it into two. Qualitative is when you can't give numbers to anything, when you can't say that, this percent of people think of it this way or something like that. Just to give you a fair idea about how it works, maybe you can go on Coursera or even on LinkedIn and just type market research. You will find many courses. There are n number of courses. You can just take the basics of market research and you will get to know how it works. I myself have taken a course on market research. I think my LinkedIn profile should be having that in the section of licenses and certifications. If you need the specific link, you can just go there and find it there.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I've actually logged in through two devices, so that's why the audio thing is an issue. Right, the next question is from Aishwarya. So, do you know about master's programs in public health and healthcare management in universities abroad?
I am aware of only one college I can tell about, which is John Hopkins, and it's really not that easy to get there.
Yeah,
I
same, yeah.
think apart from that, I don't know any other college abroad I can tell you about. No, India, I'm sure I can tell you, I can help you, but abroad even I don't know the scope.
Right. So, Aishwarya, to help you out, we can probably have a session just on, things like international admissions or the courses abroad. What is the scope and things like that. We're planning to have a separate section for that. So maybe, you can join that and we'll find out from people. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So does anybody else have any other questions? We can probably take them up. And if you guys want, you can turn your cameras on, you can unmute yourselves, we can have a discussion about anything that's related to management and dentistry. We can do that right now. Since there's a limited group, there are just 24 people now. So if somebody has any other doubts regarding management, Dr. Vishal is here, he can answer your questions.
Well, I have a couple of questions for Dr. Avni and Dr. Charu. They are more generic in sense. So, because we have been discussing a lot about academics and what are the opportunities and what kind of different sub-sectors which are there in healthcare management. And I think Dr. Avni and Dr. Charu did a fairly good job in describing all the elements, what are there, and the opportunities. If I move away from academics, I just want to understand from them, from Dr. Avni and Dr. Charu, like what has been the transformation that they saw in themselves, like pre-MBA and post 2 years, what kind of transformation happened, so in time we discuss on the academic front. But being a management student or getting into a corporate world, these other elements are also very important. So just want to get their views on this.
Yeah, first I would like to tell about my communication skill. I didn't had so good communication skill. I were limited to patients in my dental college. It was limited to patients. Now after joining MBA and all, we also had communication classes, and also had along with some work experience, I managed to develop some good communication skill so that I can speak to anyone. And dressing sense is also important for all. Whatever conference you are going, whatever the way you are speaking, and आप जहाँ पे बात कर रहे हो, कैसा occasion है और किस तरह का stage है, कैसे लोग हैं, उस हिसाब से अगर business meet के लिए जा रहे हो या college को represent करने के लिए जा रहे हो, तो you should have different dressing sense. तो उस हिसाब से ये सब भी काफी सीखने को मिलता है. और जैसे कि बहुत सारे इवेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, तो स्टेज फेयर भी होता है पहले. तो कॉलेजेस का रहता है कि बहुत सारे इवेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, तो आप इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट करो. तो इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट करने से आप थोड़ा सा पब्लिक स्पीकिंग स्किल्स भी प्रैक्टिस हो जाती है, और साथ में अंदर से कॉन्फिडेंस आता है कि यस आई कैन डू दिस, आई कैन डू. या जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल एक ट्रेड शो जैसा होता है, जैसे कि हमारे कॉलेज में ट्रेड शो जैसा होता है, वहाँ पे जैसे खाए जाओ करके कंपटीशन ऑर्गेनाइज होता है. तो वो हमारे अंदर का शेफ, इनबॉर्न शेफ दिखाता है कि आप कैसा खाना बनाते हो, कैसा बनाते हो. तो हम अगर अच्छा बनाते हैं तो हमारे अंदर एक कॉन्फिडेंस डेवलप होता है कि हाँ हम ये चीज कर सकते हैं. तो इस तरह का इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज होता है, तो आप पार्टिसिपेट करके अपने अंदर का कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट कर सकते हैं. वो काफी सारी चीजें डेवलप होती है उसमें, इंटरपर्सनल स्किल्स, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स एंड एवरीथिंग. Thank you. Dr. Ravi from your team.
Yes. So see, my journey was also somewhat similar to Dr. Charu, I'll say. And if I say more or less, she has covered everything about, communications, interpersonal skills, about being, practicing to literally go out there and speak to people. So one thing which I would like to point out is that, as dentists, we don't speak a lot to people. We don't engage a lot in communications. And of course, we are not at all tech savvy. So just a very small example, before learning anything in MBA, I knew nothing about Microsoft Excel. The very basic example I can give, and most of my dental batchmates can relate to it. When you turn into a management role, You will learn a lot about technology. You will learn a lot about being outspoken, why it is necessary to communicate. If someone who does not, people are by nature very shy to speak to people. Sometimes, not all of them, but mostly dentists are conservative. They do not have a very outspoken kind of approach. But once you get into management, you will learn that many of you will give up your stage fear if you have any. You will build a lot of skills that you probably never thought of. So it's kind of an evolution of yourself, and you really can't picturize what you're going to be after 2 years of your journey of MBA. In fact, I remember, and I think Dr. Vishal could relate, because we are both from GIM. So Dr. Ajit Parulekar, our director from the college, when we had our introductory speech from him when we just joined college, he used to tell us that, after 2 years, you will not be able to recognize yourself. At that point in time, I did not agree with him, but today I do agree with him. That is completely true. After a management role, you will transform a lot. You will explore yourself a lot. You will see that, okay, this is something I can do which I never thought that I will ever do. And maybe you were not confident 2 years back that I can take this up, but you can. Trust me, you can. And about management in specific, let's say that you will see the world in a different way. So for me, to be very specific, now I look onto things, I observe very small things. My interest is in marketing and branding. So when I look at things, I understand that, okay, this is one of their tactics to do things. Earlier, you would find it very creative that, okay, wow, this is such a nice advertisement and things like that. But then you get a different way of looking at things. You get different perspectives, and that's how it has been for me. So the journey is amazing, although you will have to work a lot harder than what you have done in dentistry, because that was your let's say the expertise. You were from a science background, and now you have to move into management and mathematics and verbal ability, which is not one of the good things dentists really do. But yes, the transformation is really amazing if you give into it, if you really believe in it, and if you're passionate about it.
And Dr. Avni,
Thank
you can throw some more light on the clubs and societies that we have at GIM. So I think that will also give a good
Sure.
perspective.
So, see, I think if you just maybe saw a little about what all subjects we are taught in healthcare management. Just relating to the same subjects, we have a lot of clubs and societies. To start with, there is something known as Agora Speakers International, because we are talking about communication specifically. So Agora Speakers International is something just like Toastmasters, and you can be a part of that club. You can have a membership where they will teach you various methodologies of public speaking, of how you can evolve into public speaking, how you can give up your stage fear, and various ways of storytelling, to be honest. Then there are other clubs like Mecca, which is a marketing club. We have an operations club. So these are the clubs where they conduct a lot of competitions, a lot of case study competitions, or even just a very college level small event where you are given some tasks at hand which are related to these subjects. So if Scopes, which is our supply chain club, if it is conducting a competition, it will be maybe a case study about supply chain where you will have to identify and solve a problem which is given in the case. So things like that. And those clubs are really things that, apart from academics, make you outstand somewhere. If you win the competitions, there is something you can put on your CV also, and you have a learning experience also. And not just the clubs, there are a lot of there is another club called I3, Industry Institute Interaction, which gets in live projects for students. So there is a proper like interview and all of those the procedure is just like your admission or placement procedure. So you have companies coming in giving you live projects, but then they take their interviews, they select candidates, then they assign the live projects, and some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid. You can call it like an internship. It's not exactly an internship, they call it live projects. So that's how you learn a lot. So most of the MBA institutes, not just GIM, they will have these own clubs and societies. There is an entrepreneurship club. There will be placement club, first of all. So the placement cell has to be there. It exists in each and every MBA college. You will also have some disciplinary clubs and things like that. So you learn a lot. Even the disciplinary clubs are something, maybe you won't find them relevant at that point in time when you are in the college, but you will understand the relevance of it once you join your jobs, you get into the industry, and you'll see that how it really has made you, helped you in following a few disciplinary codes that are actually helpful in the industry. So MBA is quite an amazing journey, roller coaster ride for dentists at least, but yeah, it's nice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Avni, for describing it in detail. And that leads to next set of questions from my side.
Sure.
Yeah, so one thing I want everyone to understand from you and Dr. Charu as well, because that is very important and actually covered in the first webinar that we conducted, but I'm not sure how many people from this current batch joined that particular webinar. So I want to understand from you, how important is resume or CV building when it comes to placement? And then second thing I would want to understand from you, or in fact, everyone would be interested to understand the placement process that happens and what one should do to get secure a good placement on the first day or second day itself, and what all things can be done from their side.
Dr. Charu, you can please take it. I'll add on to it once you're done.
Okay. So in our college, there is a placement cell where every जिसमें सारा कोऑर्डिनेशन होता है प्लेसमेंट वगैरह के लिए. तो वहाँ से प्लेसमेंट के लिए अगर आता है हॉस्पिटल हमारे कॉलेज में, तो वहाँ से एक इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट होता है जिसमें सारे स्टूडेंट्स को इन्फॉर्म किया जाता है. और उस हिसाब से फिर प्लेसमेंट जैसे जैसे हमारे हॉस्पिटल हमारे कॉलेज में ये अपोलो आता है, और फिर इसके पहले CMRI आता है जिसमें मैं भी सिलेक्ट हुई थी, बट मैंने वो प्लेसमेंट नहीं लिया था, मुझे मेरा इंटरेस्ट कहीं और था. तो इस तरह से कंडक्ट होता है. तो प्लेसमेंट ड्राइव कह सकते हैं कॉलेज का इस तरह.
Okay, so every college has its own placement procedures, but mostly what happens is that there'll be a placement cell. There will be a few students from your batch only who will be heading this placement cell, who will be getting companies on campus on board to get you placed over there. And they will float forms about whether you're interested or not interested in this particular company, whichever XYZ company is coming on campus. After that, the company has its own procedures. Every company has different procedures. Some might first take an aptitude test, do a short listing, and then move you to the further rounds like say GDPI and all of those things. Some might directly come for GDPI and just not take aptitude test. So that's company to company. Some of them even have those virtual gamings from which they identify your skill sets. So that is a very varied procedure that's not standardized across companies. But from your college perspective, the placement cell heads it, and they will definitely guide you. I'm sure even Dr. Charu will agree. This is something you should look into. These are the packages. You
Yeah.
will have a fair idea once you join the
Yeah,
college, right?
वो once we reach our fourth semester, हर बार इस तरह से लिस्ट आता रहता है कि इनका प्लेसमेंट ये सारी कंपनीज हैं, ये सारे हॉस्पिटल्स आए हैं, तो उसमें आपको जाना है नहीं जाना है, तो स्टूडेंट हैव टू सिलेक्ट दैट. ऐसा है.
Yes, so you will have group discussions, you will have personal interviews, you will sometimes have aptitude tests, and CV building, again, what you first asked about was Dr. Vishal. So CV building, especially for freshers, because I'm a fresher, I can tell you, it is really important. And my recommendation is that do a lot of live projects, do a lot of academic work, maybe take up some voluntary internships during your course, which is not a part of your curriculum, so that you can put it on your CV and you can actually have some ground level, like grassroots level experience, so that you can share about it in your interviews, and that builds your credibility for the candidature. So for freshers, it is very necessary to take more of academic approach towards CV building. And for people who already have some prior experience, live projects, yes, they do help. They will always help, whether you are a fresher or you are an experienced person, doesn't matter. Live projects are always a plus on the CV. But more towards saying about experienced people. So for you, it is also necessary that you put some more things, just like say, for example, extracurriculars, or maybe your hobbies and things like those, which you can actually justify. So I might not go into a lot of details, because once you get into colleges, you'll get a lot of lectures on this, that how you should justify what's written on your CV. But then first things first, there should be something substantial on your CV. Unless it's there, how would you justify your CV, right? So it's necessary to have a few points to build your credibility picture. And I think life project is the best thing to do. There is participating in few competitions where you can maybe grab a prize, or if not prize, at least you can talk about experience. Yeah, one important thing which I would like to say, even about competitions. So when you participate in some competitions, please do make sure that it's not just a very some small competition or something like which you can't speak about. Just Dr. Charu ne bola about internship. Her last point about the cons was that not every internship is beneficial. You have to see, you have to not waste time over there. So similarly, it goes for competitions as well. See that the competition is on a large scale enough that if you don't even bag a prize, maybe you land up in the top 10s or the top 50s of the national level competition, you at least have an experience that you can speak about. So that's my recommendation on CV building. Anything if Dr. Charu can add on CV?
Yeah, if you are trying to go to your related field or your field of your interest, you can put some relevant experience into that. If you have experience into that, the chances will get much easier for you to get selected in that particular field. So that's from me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Avni and Dr. Charu, for sharing your views. And just adding on to what they were saying, so I would say summer internship or the life projects, they are very important. I can say it from my experience as well, because I did my summer internship from a pharmaceutical organization, Microlabs, and they have their head office in Mumbai. And it was a fantastic experience. I did my internship in brand management, product management, where I was involved in launching of a cup syrup and something. So like out of a batch of 245 that I was a part of, so my internship was ranked among the top 7 or 8 in the entire college. And actually I reached the finals of some of the national level competitions like NITI. NITI is one of the top colleges in India. So they have their summer internship competitions every year. So I was able to reach the finals of that. I was in top 8, and then I reached the top 4, even though I wasn't able to win the first prize or something, but that really worked for me. And then there was another competition which was being organized for summer projects. So there also my project was ranked among the top 5 in GI. So that really helped me in securing placement, because that was kind of an X factor when it came to my, that I reached finals of so many national level competitions based on the summer internship which I did. And whenever when the interview was happening or something of that sort, kind of questions came, like, recruiters were asking me, and I was able to justify them. And then they were really impressed because of the 2 months of experience that I had over there. So I would say that summer internship, life projects are really, really important. And for freshers, it's absolutely important because they don't have industry experience. So they have to utilize those 2 months of summer internship where they get the flavor of real life corporate experience. And rest all things I don't need to cover, because I think Dr. Avni and Dr. Charu have already covered it. But I would say that dentists need to be very proactive in terms of getting all these kind of corporate exposure, because we haven't had. So, so it's not hidden. It's not hidden from anyone that we haven't had corporate experience. We are more on the clinical side. So in order to build our CV, in order to stand out amongst the rest of us, so we need to do these kind of summer internship or life work. Sorry, I think I spoke a lot.
No, sir, thank you sir, for that. So actually, there are 2 more questions in the chat box. So I'll just take those up. The first one is, do dentists get preference compared to people from non-medical background when it comes to interview calls?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question again?
Yes, sir. Do dentists get preference compared to people from non-medical background when it comes to interview calls? So they're basically asking if there is a preference because we're coming from the healthcare background, and
So I think from healthcare or hospital management standpoint, I think Dr. Avni and Dr. Charu would be able to answer this question better. From an overall PGDM or MBA point of view, I would say yes, because as I spoke about in the last webinar which we conducted, that there are these brownie points for people who are coming from different backgrounds. So because if you're going to do MBA and like there are some like 1,000 people who got shortlisted for the GD round or interview round. So then out of those, there would be some 700 to 800 engineers would be there definitely. So people want the colleges, the good colleges, they do want people to come from medical or dental or different background. So there are brownie points which are there to earn. So like if I have to segregate so if a college has a criteria to select a student, so what they would do that 50% of it they would select on the basis of like 50% marks would be based out of the CAT or ZAT or CMAT, whatever it is there. 30% would be on GD, 10% interview, and then 5-10% cultural, not this thing, the difference in background. So definitely we do get that advantage because we come from non-engineering or different kind of background. But from a healthcare or hospital management perspective or standpoint, I would ask Dr. Avni or Dr. Charu to share their views.
Okay, I can take this up. Actually, so in my experience, I can tell you that, just like Dr. Vishal said, colleges as well as companies. So I don't know whether this question is specifically from a college interview standpoint or from a company interview standpoint, but I'd rather prefer to answer both of them. When you talk about colleges, so see, the course in itself is healthcare or hospital administration or say pharmaceutical management, the other courses that I outlined in my slides. See, of course, a science background is preferred. So most of the students sitting in this interview will be from say BSc Life Sciences or will be from MBBS, will be from BDS, many other backgrounds, but mostly science. So I can't really exactly say that BDS is given a preference because then end of the day, everyone is from a science background. And even engineers who sit in the interview, at least they have a partial science background, if not biology. Let's put it that way. And then there are courses in these management, the subjects, these management courses are such that they are designed both for engineers as well as doctors. So to be very fair and honest, because of the diversity that colleges and companies look for, yes, they will give a fair chance to all of you, but nothing specific as such that there's a bias towards dentists or a bias towards MBBS, unless in very rare instances where a college or company is specifically looking to grow into a particular segment. So for example, maybe in a particular course, there might be some colleges looking for building people from the MBBS background, so that they have a little more diversity to what is already existing. In that case scenario, yes, there is preference to BDS if they are looking for BDS, but specifically there is no bias. And if it's about company placements, then they have their own criterias and eligibility. Some companies might be looking specifically for doctors, then yes, BDS do get an edge, but otherwise it's mostly science background which helps. I believe I have been able to answer that, but in case it has not been answered, I am ready to take it up later so that for the time.
I think you covered it very well, Avni. So I actually just covered it from the college standpoint, like how you get entry into a college, but you actually covered from both the college standpoint as well as the placement thing. So I think you covered it pretty well.
Yes, sir. So there's just one more question. I think if that's fine by everyone, we'll make that the last question for the day. So the question is, can you tell about Manipal University entrance exams? Dr. Avni, Dr. Charu, if you have any information about what the entrance exam is like in Manipal University, you could just let us know.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure about Manipal. I don't know if they have a different examination or something, but I'm not very sure. See, CAT and CMAT mostly is there for all of the colleges. Maybe we can check on their website. Their website will definitely have an admissions section which will outline the entire admission procedure. So you can check over there. But in specific,
I actually have a friend who's studying MHA at Manipal. So feel free to contact me. You can contact me through the WhatsApp group. yeah, just send a message on WhatsApp and I'll help you connect with that person so that you can find out more. From what I know, they had an interview and entrance exam, I'm not so sure, but I think there was an interview for sure. So that's a definite. Other things, she would be able to help you out since she's studying there. Yes, Dr. Charu.
I think they take through CAT, TAPMI, yeah, it's TAPMI, TAPI Institute.
Right. So TAPMI
It
is
takes through CAT
offering
scores.
different courses. Yeah, they
Yeah.
go for CAT, but there is Prasanna School which has just they offer just MHA and that is through an interview. So over there they don't take right,
Yeah.
right. So Vipin says that TAPMI has stopped the healthcare management program because now Prasanna School is doing that. They are offering the MHA course now.
Yeah, and adding
Uh,
to that, I would say that
okay.
TAPMI, yes, it is in Manipal, but I don't think that it ever was under Manipal University. So Manipal University, they have their own program, their own MBA program or
Right.
Masters in Healthcare program. So TAPMI was a separate institute, and they used to have their own healthcare management program. But I think Dr. Pallabi is right. Currently, they don't have the healthcare management program. I think because, as she was saying, that Prasanna Institute, they are hosting their own program. So I think because of that, yeah.
Yeah, so
Dr.
now it's
Pallavi,
full management. Yes.
if it's
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, I just wanted to answer just another thing over here.
Sure,
I
sure,
think
sure.
we had a question over. I'll just take 2 more minutes. I'm sorry, I'm taking a little more time.
No, no worries, no
But then,
worries.
yeah, there was a question on how PGDM is different from MBA.
Right, right, right.
I'm,
Yes.
yeah. So I hope the person who asked is here and can listen to us. Otherwise, I think we can send the recording. But see, PGDM and MBA are more or less the same. It's only about whether the institute is anonymous or affiliated to a university. And the very basic difference between PGDM and MBA is just that when a college offers PGDM, they have the flexibility to add or remove particular courses as per the industry requirements. Well, if you are doing a proper MBA, the degree says MBA, then it means that it has a rigid curriculum, which is basically, I think, defined by AICTE, if I'm not wrong. So the flexibility of courses is not available in MBA, and they have to take certain approvals. So it's quite of a technical difference from the college standpoint, from where they have affiliations. But as such, there is no difference. Both are equally credible. Both, it's nothing that if you're doing a PGDM, it's something lesser than MBA. No, it's not that. It's just the same.
Ma'am, to add on to that, I'll just mention that when I was doing my research, PGDM versus MBA, I read that now people prefer PGDM because it's more specialized. The course is more updated when compared to MBA. So it like the couple of answers that I read, they said that in MBA they keep teaching the same
Same
syllabus over.
curriculum,
Yeah,
yes.
they don't
Because they
update it
have
that
a
often.
very long procedure of taking approvals
Right,
for
right.
new courses or something like that, which is exactly what even my understanding is, that there is a lot of flexibility for PGDM courses, so they can keep up
Right.
to date with the industry standards. So it's
Exactly.
nothing like, see, both are good. I'm not saying that MBA, because it's rigid or something like that, it's bad. The subjects are equally relevant, just that you might have a lot of customization in PGDM. That's it.
Right, right. And I think now we're moving more towards the era of customization because even the government is encouraging that. So, right from school level to college. So I think that's something that people prefer.
And yeah, and adding to that, not taking anything away from MBA program, I would say if you
Mm.
any of you look at the top 30 or top 40 institutes in any of the magazines or any of the columns, so you would find that 80% of those colleges are offering PGDM and not
Even
MBA.
IIMs, for that matter, which
Even
you
I'm
believe
from, yeah,
are the best, they also offer PGDM. So it's nothing like that. That's not at all
absolutely,
an issue.
absolutely. So as Dr. Avni rightly said that if an institute is an autonomous one, then they offer PGDM. If they come under some university, then they have to offer MBA. And she and Kalibi, they also said that with PGDM you have this option and this flexibility of changing your curriculum as per the industry standards and needs. So both are equally important. So don't ever get into this kind of doubt or confusion that PGDM is just a diploma, it's not MBA or something of that sort.
Right.
Both are equally important. So it depends on you have to be like I would say rather focus on the college than PGDM or MBA, which college can offer you more good placement, good opportunity in terms of learning, good exposure to a corporate world and everything. Good alum base. I would say go with that college rather than going with PGDM or MBA. Yeah.
Right, sir. I mean, there are very few colleges that actually offer MBA as a degree. Some of them, they just call it an MBA, but it's actually a PGDM only. So I think
I think
one of the
Symbiosis
Yes,
offer
sir.
Symbi offer MBA degree, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Right, sir. Even FMS, I mean, those are the colleges that I'm aware of. Okay, if there's something that anybody else wants to add or ask or discuss, we can, probably wait for 1 minute, and after that we can wrap the session. So, are there any more questions?
By the time people are thinking for a few more questions, I would just like to add that if there is anything, maybe if there is, a question which they do not want to add on a public platform, it's okay. Dr. Pallavi, I'll request you can share my email ID. I will be completely
Definitely.
fine with answering questions if there is anything which is not being brought up here. So for anyone who wants to connect later, can reach out to Dr. Pallavi. She will share my email address, and I will be more than happy to help.
Ma'am, I'll share your address on the group as well, both yours and Dr. Charu's, so that if
Yes,
anybody
no
has
issue.
anything that's pertaining to something that you spoke about, they can reach out to you. Okay, so
Sure.
I think that's all for now. Thank you so much, Dr. Avni, Dr. Charu, Dr. Vishal, for joining us, and thank you to all the attendees. Again, it's a Sunday morning, so I can understand, but I think this was a really good session, even though we had a limited number of participants. But I think the discussion was good. So that's all from my end.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for being so
Thanks, Dr.
patient,
Avni.
listeners.
Thanks, Dr. Charu. Thanks, Dr. Pallavi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.